Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've been thinking if I should be using my wildcard chip in game week 8 or should I save it until game week 13. So in this video I'm going to compare my game week 8 wildcard to my game week 13 to decide if I should use the wildcard chip over the international break before game week 8 or should I save it until game week 13. So if you're like me, you haven't used your wildcard chip and you're not too sure which one to use it on, this video could be for you. Before we get started, let's try and get me up to 300 subscribers before game week 8 deadline. Before we get started on this video, get in the comment section and let me know what you're planning to do. Are you planning to use your wildcard in game week 8, game week 13, or have you already used it and which game week did you use it in? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Anyway, intro out the way, let's just jump into it. So here's my side for game week 7 ahead of deadline tonight. I didn't feel like using the wildcard chip was worth it this game week. I feel like I'm set up pretty well. Yes, I haven't got the Arsenal attackers, but I've got the Aston Villa players against Burnley. I've got Bruno Fernandes against Sunderland, and I'm giving them one last chance to prove themselves that they're worth it. If these three players don't do well in game week 7, I probably will use the wildcard chip and get all three of them out. So here's my side for game week 8 with one free transfer. I don't feel like it's desperately in need of a wildcard, but I also don't feel like I'm happy with it. So first of all, I'm not happy with Agbadu. Wolves' fixtures start to turn worse. And he didn't start against Tottenham, and I don't really want a player that's not starting. And Wolves haven't started the season off that well. I don't think they're going to keep clean sheets. Then we've got Rinders, and I'm not upset about having him, but I think for the next few game weeks, I don't feel like he's the perfect player to have. So I feel like I could easily get rid of him and buy him back in game week 13 when the fixtures turn better. Then we've got the two Aston Villa players, and after game week 7, the fixtures turn bad for Aston Villa, so I do feel like I will need to get rid of Rodgers and Watkins. Bruno Fernandes at 9 million, I'm not sure I want to keep him. He's away against Liverpool and the fixtures aren't that bad after it, but I don't really feel like 9 million for him is worth it. Then we've got Robert Sanchez on the bench, and after game week 8, the fixtures are pretty good up until game week 12. They probably got the best fixtures up until that time. But after game week 12, I don't really want Sanchez in my side, so I do feel like he's a sell at the moment. If I didn't use the wildcard chip, I'd be happy to keep him up until game week 12. Because Chelsea have got Sunderland, Burnley, and Wolves in the next four fixtures, as well as Nottingham Forest. So it's not the worst fixtures for Sanchez, and he could easily keep clean sheets. But for them easier fixtures in the Premier League, maybe Maresca rotates and gives Jorgensen a chance. Then we've got Pedro Porro at 5.6 million. He's not getting any attacking returns. He's not likely to get DEFCON points. So I do feel like I need to sell him because there's an extra million over these other players that are getting DEFCON points nearly every game week. So I'd rather have the money into a 4.5 million defender that's going to get DEFCON points every game week. And then the other player that I'm not happy with is King. I'm not really sure if he's going to get any attacking returns. I only really bought him so I could fund Haaland. I bought King also so I had 1.4 million so I could upgrade Bruno Fernandes to Cole Palmer in game week 9, but I don't think Cole Palmer's going to be fit, so I don't really need that money. So here are the fixtures from game week 8 till game week 19, and as you can see, Man City are at the top, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton and Bournemouth just below them. Then at the bottom we've got Wolves and Tottenham, and I've got Agbadu and Porro, so I don't really want to keep them long term. I currently don't feel like I need any Liverpool assets until game week 13. Even Man City, the fixtures aren't that great, so other than Haaland, I don't feel like I need them until game week 13. I like the fixtures for Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, and then Arsenal for the next couple of games. But after game week 12, I don't think we'll have three Arsenal assets. I think we'll be moving our players into Man City or Liverpool players. So this is how my side could look for game week 8 if I use the wildcard chip. I would get Pope instead of Sanchez. I get Richards instead of Pedro Porro. I get Sarr instead of Rodgers. I get Cole Palmer instead of Bruno Fernandes. That Cole Palmer slot could easily be Saka if Cole Palmer isn't fit. And if I did change Cole Palmer to Saka, I'd probably get Enzo Fernandez instead of Rinders. Instead of Ollie Watkins, I'll get Gyökeres up front, so I'd have the ideal front three for the next few games. Then instead of King, I've got Dewsbury Hall. He'll be back from his suspension, so he won't get a suspension until he gets 10 yellow cards now. That slot isn't locked in. It could easily be Xhaka or somebody like that. And then instead of Agbadu, I get Rondon. Rondon rotates really well with my side for game week 10. He could easily come into my side where they've got a really good fixture where the other players haven't. So I've only bought him with that in mind. So I've done this graph to make it understandable what I've done. So in both sides, I'd keep Dubravka, Gabriel, Senesi, Anderson, Semenyo, Haaland and João Pedro. The current players that I've got on the side is Robert Sanchez, Pedro Porro, Agbadu, Bruno Fernandes, Rodgers, Rinders, King and then Watkins. And if I did use the wildcard chip in game week 8, I could get Pope, Richards, Rondon, Palmer, Sarr, Enzo Fernandez, Dewsbury Hall and Gyökeres. Obviously some of these players could change. So the game week 8 wildcard isn't locked in, obviously. We've got 2 weeks of international break for me to tinker around with the side. But if I did use the wildcard chip in this game week, I do feel like I'm making an upgrade on most of the players. I feel like a lot of them current players are going to drop in value, and I don't feel like I need them in my side moving forward. And I feel like a lot of them players in the new will go up in price, and I feel like there'll be players that everybody wants to buy. So comparing my game week 7 side to my game week 8 side, if I use the wildcard chip, I do feel like it's an upgrade. But is it enough of an upgrade to use it now, or do I save it until game week 13 and make transfers to get some of these players into my side now? I feel like for the next 5 game weeks, I could get by in defence. I feel like I could get by with my goalkeeper in Sanchez for the next few game weeks. I feel like I could keep Rinders in my side until game week 13 and then the fixtures turn. So I'd only really need to make 3 transfers really. I'll sell Bruno Fernandes and get Saka. I've got 1.4 million in the bank. I could change Rodgers to Sarr or Fernandes. Fernandes' fixtures are really good for the next few game weeks. And then I could just sell Watkins and get Gyökeres. But I feel like that'll set me up until game week 13 and then I could use the wildcard. So with that in mind, I made a wildcard draft for game week 13 to see how many of the players changed and which of the sides did I feel like I was getting the bigger upgrade. So if I did use the wildcard chip in game week 13 instead of 8, this is what my side could look like. So I'd get Pope into my side, I'd get Richards into my side again, I'll probably get Rondon into my side again, I'll probably keep Rinders in my side. So the difference is from a game week 8 wildcard to a game week 13, I'll probably get Virgil van Dijk instead of Gabriel. Instead of Saka or Palmer, I'll probably get Gordon. Instead of Gyökeres, I'll probably get a Liverpool asset and it'll probably be Isaac. Mo Salah will be going to the African Cup of Nations around game week 15-16, and I think he'll play up front and Ekitike will play on the right. Then instead of João Pedro, I'll get Waltermaid with Newcastle's fixtures turning better. Both Gordon and Waltermaid have been in my shortlist before the Arsenal game where Waltermaid scored, and then in the Champions League yesterday, Gordon scored 2 and Waltermaid scored 1, so I do feel like they're good players to have from game week 13 onwards. And then instead of Sarr, I'll probably get somebody like Minter. Sarr's going away to the African Cup of Nations around game week 15-16, so I probably won't get him. I'll probably get Minter. Minter's from Gambia, but they haven't qualified for the African Cup of Nations, so he will be available. This game week 13 wildcard obviously isn't locked in, but it gives you an idea of what I could potentially be picking. I still have 0.9 million in the bank, and a few of these players will go up over the few game weeks, so I could still probably afford it. So last of all, let's compare my game week 8 wildcard to my game week 13. So in both wildcards, I'll have Pope, Dubravka, Senesi, Rondon, Richards, Anderson, Semenyo and Haaland in both of them. In wildcard 8, I'd have Gabriel and Pedro, but I already own them. So currently in my wildcard 8 side, there's 5 players that isn't in my wildcard 13 side. So Chelsea have got some really good fixtures, so Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez are in it. That could be Saka, obviously, as I said. Then we've got Sarr, whose fixtures turn better for Crystal Palace. He's back from injury. I think he's a really good player to have. But as I said, from game week 13, I probably won't have Sarr because of the African Cup of Nations a few game weeks after. Then I'll have Dewsbury, Hall or Xhaka, but they're probably sitting on my bench most of the game week, so it's not much of a change. And then I'll be wildcarding Ollie Watkins out and getting Gyökeres for these next few fixtures. So is a wildcard 8 an upgrade when you get Cole Palmer, Fernandes, Sarr, Dewsbury, Hall and Gyökeres? From them 5 players, you're probably thinking, no, but I'm getting Pope early, I'm getting Rondon early, I'm getting Richards into my side, and I'm not using all my transfers trying to catch up. If I held on to my wildcard chip until game week 13, I'll probably get in Virgil van Dijk, Gakpo, Gordon, Minter, Isaac and Waltermaid instead. And he already owned Rinders, so I'll probably just keep it into my side until game week 13. The worry that I have with wildcarding in game week 13, I could be losing a lot of value over the next few game weeks. I could be having players that are not going to be performing that great. But I've got players like Agbadu, Porro, Rodgers, Bruno Fernandes, Watkins in my side. I don't really want to keep onto them. And by game week 13, if I did plan to use the wildcard then, do I really feel like these players are going to upgrade me? Gakpo, will he be still starting all the time? Will Gordon still be fit? Will Minter still be playing as good? Will Isaac be guaranteed a starting all the time? Or will Ekitike take some of his minutes all the time? And then Waltermaid, I have been impressed with him, but Wiss will be back from his injury. So what does that mean for his minutes moving forward from game week 13? So do I fix my side for game week 8 with a wildcard chip? Or do I save my wildcard chip for game week 13 and use 3 transfers buying in Saka or Palmer, buying somebody like Enzo Fernandez or Sarr, and then buying Gyökeres instead of Watkins and just buy them players instead? With Rondon and Richards, yes, I favour having them two over Agbadu and Porro, but I'm not planning to play them both that much. And with Nick Pope, do I really need him right now? Sanchez's fixtures are really good. He's probably got better fixtures than Newcastle. Buying players like Dewsbury Hall and a wildcard is an upgrade, but do they play in my side? Probably not. So I'm just upgrading my bench really. So the moves like Rondon and Dewsbury Hall, they're not going to make me want to use my wildcard chip because they're probably going to just sit on my bench all the time. The worry that I have with saving my wildcard until game week 13 is I might not fancy these Newcastle or Liverpool assets by then. And then I've saved my wildcard chip for nothing because I don't really want any of them players in my side. So I'm not really getting an upgrade and getting ahead of the pack. I'm just falling behind in the next 5 game weeks. I can see positives and negatives for about both of them. For wildcard 8, I can get my side sorted and get it where I want it to be. The negative for a wildcard 8 is I probably can't get all them wildcard 13 players into my side by game week 13 without taking hits. And if Newcastle, Liverpool and City look really good, I won't be able to get them until game week 16 where we get 5 transfers. And by that point you've missed out on 3 really easy fixtures for both of them. The negative about saving your wildcard until game week 13 is probably a lot of my players will drop in price and I could fall behind. I feel like a lot of managers will wildcard in game week 8, so I will be losing a bit of value on a lot of my players. And there's about 7 or 8 players that I'm not happy with, so I could be really frustrated over the next few game weeks with them. So all in all, after all this, I'm probably about a 60% chance that I'll wildcard in game week 8. The thing that I like about a wildcard 8 is I can fix my side straight away now. I'll have a 2-week international break to have a look over my side and make the ultimate squad. And then by game week 13, I'll have a few transfers in the bank. And I can potentially sell players like Gabriel and get Virgil van Dijk. I can sell somebody like Cole Palmer or Saka, whoever's in my side. I can get somebody like Foden, Gakpo, or Gordon instead. And then I don't think I'm too far away from a wildcard 13 side. And then keep adding the other players into my side over the next few game weeks. And then by game week 16, we'll get 5 transfers for the African Cup of Nations, and then I can make my ultimate side from then. I fear if I save the wildcard chip till game week 13, I'll lose a lot of value, I'll fall behind everybody. And then when I get to game week 13, I won't be sure who I actually want to buy out of these players. And then my ultimate wildcard side for game week 13 will just be matched by game week 16, where everybody's got 5 transfers to buy them all. So I don't really have a 3-week ultimate period from game week 13 till 16 with the ultimate side. So I don't really feel like I'm getting much of an edge because they'll all have them 3 game weeks later. So as I said, I'm probably favouring a game week 8 wildcard instead of a 13. Get in the comment section and let me know. Do you think it should be a game week 8 wildcard or a game week 13? Do you think I should just save it? The more I think about it, the more I want to use the wildcard chip in game week 8. The only thing that might change is when I actually activate it. We'll see how many price rises and falls there are going to potentially be on Friday night. And if I feel like some of them players are the ones that I want to buy, or some of them players that are in my side are going to drop, then I might activate it then. But ideally, it's probably better to wait until Sunday's fixtures are all over and then make a decision. Because who knows, Aston Villa could do really well against Burnley, and I might actually want to keep them against Tottenham. Fernandes could play just behind the striker and look really good against Sunderland, and after the Liverpool game I might want to keep him. Robert Sanchez might keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, and then the fixtures after that I might feel like he's worth keeping until the game week 13. And then I might feel like I can just make 2 or 3 transfers to get the ultimate side until game week 13 and plaster over the cracks. So there we have it for a long video of me just trying to explain. I don't still know what I'm going to do. Let me know in the comment section what you think I should do, because you might help me make a decision. If you've still got the wildcard chip in hand, what you're planning to do, use it in game week 8 or 13, and have I helped you making the decision, or have I made it even harder? If I do activate the wildcard chip from now till game week 8 deadline, then I'll obviously do a video on my new draft. So hit subscribe so you can see that video if I do use the wildcard chip. Anyway, I'm signing off. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.